Be aware of those who come dressed as sheep clothes, but yet they are wolves. Attention seekers. Pay attention. Everything is your teacher. We're living in a society where there is a writer that says, or a thinker, or a philosopher, is attributed to this particular individual, that this world is a stage, a platform, but we're merely actors in a play. A stage where one does a performance based culture, a platform that which a picture is on a picture's mount. He or she or he is on a stage or a elevated stage. If someone was doing softball and the women still, it would be a elevated stage. It is a altar, as some will call it in a religious sense, and that which they build in paying homage to a particular deity. As if the deity, that which they are paying homage to, needs an individual to give him or her attention. The human tendencies of the society is being exploited. It's kind of natural to seek attention, but the intent behind the intention that you're seeking is a different ballgame. In the society in which we live, we see that people are entertained by things that they cannot grasp. And those who behind the scenes are conjecturer, a master magician, knows that you want to be seen. And they will put you on the scene. And you will get the attention that you need, because something you have been neglected from receiving the attention. So as a result of neglect, it leads to a sense of feeling of abandonment. But it is the proper use of the platform. It is the proper use of humans being on this plane of existence. Learn some morals, learn some values, learn how to learn and get along and cooperate with one another. Why would one continue to hog the platform when you know you cannot hog the platform, because you know that there is an expiration date? And we all must make a physical transition from this plane of existence. So is it so that one is more gifted or more talented than the other human being, that he or she is on the platform and getting all the attention while others are being neglected? But there are those who are gifted as the other individual and may not be receiving the attention that they need. And therefore, they become addicted. They become isolated and consumed, and be consumed by the intoxication of the lack of receiving the attention that they need. The clothes that they wear, the cars that they drive, the people who they interact with is seeking attention. But what is the attention? It is a sense of discomfort. It is just a discomfort that one has about him or herself. As we see again in the society in which we live, when it comes to celebrity, when it comes to media, when it comes to press, when it comes to television, we see that there were those who the industry, the entertaining industry, is behind the scenes and keep sending, put these people and giving them the attention, and they become addicted to the attention, while the rest of the society seems to be become neglected, and they are not on that particular platform and receiving the attention that they need. So it renders them and puts them in a position where they become discomfort, and they need comfort. But at the same time, some will go out of their way to comfort themselves and convenient themselves at the expense of making others inconvenient. So yes, maybe Shakespeare was right that all the world is a stage and really merely actors in a play, because they say act one, act two, stat one, stat two. In the act of even creating laws, it's just an act. So why would you hog the platform when it's what we call this creation is given to us in abundance, that we all share in this stage, in this platform, in this universe? This what people call this God green earth. Thrill seekers seeking to monopolize the attention, the fanfare, the notoriety. Oh, this society in which we live is creating the best of entertainers, the best of grandiose narcissism. It is a breeding ground for narcissism, for grandiose narcissism. It is a breeding ground for it, in need of attention. One must overlook one's mental, emotional well-being, not to overlook it. And we live in a society that says that because I have the title, because I have the money, because I have the privilege, because I have the power, that my time is of more value than your time. Well, I tell you, you are telling a lie. You are fostering and foolishing this type of mentality and this type of behavior. You continue to sending more and more people through this industry, this stream, as if they represent something that is of value, whereas the other folks who are not on this particular scene and on that particular platform, that they are considered to be of less value. Oh, you're creating a tendency, an environment, a breeding ground of self-destructive tendencies, of self-destructive attitudes. Because on that particular industry, entertainment industry, there are those who, you give the impression that if you are this as an actor and you know you're not that and you're just acting, performing, performing a perform. Oh, he or she can act real good, but that's not who he or she is in real life. So it is a fantasy. It is one that is controlling one's perception of how he or she sees themselves and how he or she thinks he or she wants to be, and therefore the way he or she will become. No. But yet, when you exceed your limitations, you will be exposed. Surely you are exposed. We're living in a society, in the economic situation, where someone controls the distribution of wealth, determine who's going to be taxed, who's going to get this certain money, and how much is going to be distributed. Dominance and control, whereas the main objective of any human being It can be told by countries who want self-autonomy is that the human being must learn to govern him or herself. It's about self-governance. If you are unable to govern your emotions, your attitudes, then therefore someone else is going to try to govern and control it for you. So you get the money now. The money is supposed to make you an authority on things. Please give me a break. See right through that disguise. That's what you call a wolf that is dressed in sheep clothing. It is an industry. The entertainment industry is a wolf. It is a wolf dressed in sheep clothing. The politicians are nothing but wolves dressed in sheep clothing. And it creates little wolves. People looking at that as the model, and say in the business realm too, when some deal with predatory loans, you loan somebody some money, they want you to pay at a higher rate. Man, that is a wolf dressed in sheep clothing, as if they doing you a favor. In this abundance world, and an abundance create unfair social comparisons. People be reasoning, emotional reasoning, deal with things unrealistic, and it seems so real. Well, why should it seem so unreal? You have been neglected and neglected. Now all of a sudden, industry has helped you to get to where you are. Now it seems so real. Well, it's real because in the initial stage, in this abundance, no one should be without neglect. No one should be without everything here is to benefit humanity. Not to feed in your grandiose, narcissistic mentalities, narcissistic thinking, narcissistic behavior. People are entertained, but I've never seen it. This is a society or a world where entertainment is celebrated. Narcissism, grandiose narcissism is celebrated. Don't you think I don't personally struggle with that, but I see it. The first step to change is awareness. And that's the beginning of time. Awareness is the beginning of time. When someone tells you they can determine when the beginning of time, no one can determine the beginning of the time. So who is the greatest? How can you say one is the greatest? That means you know when time begins. You know who is the greatest. Who can one compare him or herself to? Those who are greatest among you is those create a favorable environment. Not just for themselves as an exclusive club, but an environment as a benefit for all. You don't think that the species who are on this plane of existence is an environment to benefit them, but humans still going around creating mass destructive weapons, have not learned from the words of Dr. King. He says, guided men and misguided missiles. Have not learned from the words of Malcolm how this media makes your family, or something he was saying about makes you to become an enemy to yourself. I'm talking about that's the wolf that is dressed in sheep clothing behind the scenes calling the shots. That's a master magician of conjecture. Einstein never said it better. The same level of consciousness that created the problem won't solve the problem. What is the problem? I always say many suffer from identity crisis, but it's the problem of grandiose, of breeding ground, of grandiose narcissism. And people gravitate to that. That is the model that has been set. But when humans don't become addicted to it in the grandiose narcissism that created, the humans won't become addicted to that they learn how to govern their emotions, their attitude, their behavior. Maybe Islam was right. There is no compulsion in religion. And that is sincerity. I think a brother said this here. There is nothing worse or more dangerous than conscientious stupidity and sincere ignorance. The Africans had a problem of who's going to elevate the race. Contingent upon who will support and back them. Then they start putting the Africans in America at odds with one another. And the Africans and Americans that are being at odds with one another, they're dealing with a psychosocial dislocation. They're psychosocially dislocated because they can't go back to the past. And when we try to go back into the past, we see that we're psychosocially dislocated. Many have. And then when you are that means you're reasoning with emotion, unrealistic terms. And when one is unable to reason, one becomes mentally incapacitated. People are unstable. But yet their money, their wealth, and their power does its best to hide their instability. There are 3 illnesses that we're dealing with. Mental suicide, emotional homicide, and spiritual genocide. That's cutting through the life force. And it creates a fractured society with brothers and sisters. Humans are at odds and killing each other, and that which is killing each other. And because we are resisting to change, even the seasons change. If the seasons change, and seasons is the best body of knowledge, or creation is the best body of knowledge, how come we don't want to change? But a person will never change if he or she doesn't see an issue with their action. So the issue is character resolve. And character is the outgrowth for one's humanity. I went in closing. Talked to a wolf in sheep clothing. They call a mayor. I don't get no problem with me. I know what it is. Selling a book that I have. I say I'm selling books, not drugs. Lo and behold, I have some personal concerns that I have to deal with. He didn't buy the book. I know there may be some political things who control those behind the scenes said it could be a way of persuading public officials. Then I went to another brother who was the head of a college, president. And I said, I'm selling a book. I'm selling books, not drugs. And I said, I'm serious. I looked at him square in his eye and I said, buy the book. He said, I gave him my card. I said, I'm serious. Get with me. I emailed. He haven't gotten back with me yet. The misuse of the technology, the misuse of the time, playing games with one another. If you ain't serious about trying to assist each other, then get out of the way. Stop being used as a tool by those who are behind the scenes and calling the shots, who create this shield, this association, this industry of manipulation, intoxication, and exploitation. The need and the fixation of attention. Talk to you.